People told me I couldn't do a lot of things.
I feel like I'm the chosen one.
Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. All we are is proud and passionate. I love Toronto. I love this team. And we're going to the NBA.
Nothing matters but winning.
Welcome back to episode 42 of Rapzville Weekly. I'm your co-host Gabriel, here with my other co-host Adam. And today we have a very special guest coming from Six Side Couch Show. We have Enzo Minicucci.
Thank you for having me back.
Shout out to the boy. Today we are going to be doing free agency updates. So last week we did mention what's going on in the league, and we said that free agency will be starting December 1st. And we're going to go player by player here on the Raptors, the big names, and some rumors that have come up. So to start with Fred VanVleet, the question is, where will he go? He recently showed up on JJ Redick's podcast, The Old Man in the Three, and he had a quote that he was talking about his future. And he said, "I'm trying to get paid, man. I'm not shy about that. I don't have to tell people that I value winning. Like, just look at my story. Do your research. I've never been on a losing team in my entire life. I won championship, and now it's time to cash out. I'm 26. I'm only 4 years into his career, but I feel like I'm on the verge of blossoming even more with more of a lead role. It's not purely numbers, but the numbers do play a big part, and I just want to feel my value reciprocated from the other end. And teams can tell you your value all they want to, but until they show you the numbers, then you know what that means." So Freddie's basically saying here is that he thinks he deserves a big contract and he wants to get paid. He wants people to believe that he is a good player and that he will always be wanting to win, so we shouldn't question him in that regard. But what he wants to be brought up is, how much am I getting paid? Am I getting paid what I'm worth? Doug Smith, reporter for the Raptors, tweeted how surprised he was that this was causing a lot of backlash, thinking that he was in it for a money grab and he didn't care about where he landed. It was just about the money. And he was saying he's surprised that a player who's very skilled in this sport and very confident, talking about how he wants to get paid and what he believes he deserves by an organization that respects him, he's surprised that this is news. So he's thinking that people shouldn't be thinking badly about that from this statement. And then Fred replied to him on Twitter saying, "You can't say it out loud, Doug," with some laughing faces. "God forbid you think highly of yourself." So Fred was trying to say that he's confident in his abilities. He thinks he's worth the money and he wants to get paid the respectful amount. But he also did say he doesn't have a set low amount where he wants you to give him above, let's say, 15 million. Like, he didn't say that there's a low amount. He thinks he's just going to look at all the offers on the table. He knows what he believes he's worth, and he's going to evaluate that. My question for you two guys now is, what do you think he is worth? Where do you think he's going to go? And how much of an effect do you think the money's going to have to play? Because he is saying it is a big effect. So do you believe him in that regard?
Yeah, I'll start off. Basically, we're in this problem because Pascal Siakam, we overpaid him, clearly. We saw what he did in the playoffs. So that's the biggest problem. Okay. But yeah, with Fred, I was talking to both of you guys yesterday about it. I was saying, if he leaves for an amount significantly much more than what we offer him, then okay, whatever. If it's 25 mil, if we offer him 20 mil and he gets an offer from the Knicks for 25, then okay, I understand that. But if we offer him 22, the Knicks offer him 22 or something like that, and he goes to the Knicks, then I'll be pissed off because Freddie, he was undrafted. We brought him in. We nurtured him. We made him the player he is today. And obviously, it's not all because of us. He worked hard himself, but we helped him grow. We've seen it with Pascal Siakam to an extent. Now, I don't know, but to Norman Powell, Terrence Davis, you've seen, came in undrafted. We've been doing this for years. Even Chris Boucher, who came from Golden State, and you guys know I love him, came from Golden State, brought him to the G League, won G League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year in the G League. Now he has a ring. Yep. So, for me, Freddie, if he were to leave for more or less the same amount, then I'm going to be extremely annoyed because, to me, that's just stabbing us in the back. And I think he should be repaying the fans and the organization for the faith they've shown in him over the years. But Freddie, he's really annoying me, honestly, because in the media, he's doing all these interviews with the Knicks reporters. And like you said, Gabe, JJ Redick. It's so annoying. I don't like the way he's talking either in his tweets. He's kind of being arrogant, really. And I'm sure you're going to bring it up later on, but the shoe deal now, he got that. This guy's thinking about money, to be honest, and I don't like the way he's speaking about it, so I have to say about that.
Okay, so my view on this with Freddie is, like I said before, I would think 25 million is a proper amount for him. I know we would have to, for this to happen, we would have to get rid of, for sure, Mark, maybe RHJ, and probably pick up guys with lower contracts instead of them. For this to happen, but I would still give Freddie the amount he wants because of his importance to the team. the culture that he brings and the mentality that he shows the players, and he's a great leader as well. I think if he does choose the Knicks, I think it's because he's for sure like an ambitious guy. He wants to be a leader. Everywhere he's been, he's won, like Gabe said in the quote. So he always wants to be on a winning team, and I think he wants to be that kind of hero for the Knicks in bringing them up with all the youngsters, kind of nurturing them, like Enzo said, and bringing guys like R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Knox to a better level, and be the reason why New York has success. And also, they have a huge fan base. Madison Square Garden, obviously, being their playing arena. And I think Fred will love that, and I think he loves the attention, and he's a calm guy that can handle a lot of pressure. So I don't think he would be fazed by moving to an organization like the Knicks. And I think $25 million is a good price. I mean, like Enzo said, the Pascal situation, that's why we have all these issues right now, because that guy's been horrendous, the pandemic guy. And that's what I have to say about this. I hope Fred doesn't think about the money too much in this time of the pandemic, because you can kind of get caught up in your mind thinking that you could be making so much money, but he's going to forget that the Knicks are in a horrible situation right now.
I was thinking to myself that if he goes to the Knicks, I understand what he mentioned on the podcast. He talked about wanting to be the leader, having that role on the team, and orchestrating from a true point guard position, because most of his career, with us at least, he was becoming that spark plug off the bench. Now he's in the role as a starter and a more respected player, but he's never been that commanding figure that he's in a traditional point guard, one that he enjoyed playing the most. So if he moves for that reason, I understand. But I think the Knicks, they're definitely not a good team. They don't have much of a future as of right now, and I don't know how successful they will be. And for a player that values winning as much as him, I think that should be a huge consideration of wanting to stay with us instead of them. If he goes to them just for a quick buck, like I said with Enzo, I understand if it's a huge amount of money difference. That was originally my argument as well. But like for the New York Knicks, I don't have a lot of respect for that organization. So there's only one thing I think of that.
Yeah, they don't draft players well at all. They don't develop them well. They kind of give their youngsters minutes without proving that they belong in the system and belong in the team. And I think that's what hurts them in the end. Unlike us, that we develop our players, make sure they fit in the system, understand that defense is the first priority, and winning.
But this is I guess the sound effect that I would use to understand this moment. If he goes to the Knicks just for the cash, easy money. Yeah, easy money. I think that he's got to really take into consideration the options, and I think the coronavirus point you said was a big one, because he mentioned it too. Is that he feels that uncertainty of not knowing what to do because of this virus and how scary it can be. You can suddenly stop playing basketball and not have a source of income, because I believe the league did cut down a bit of their pay for that shortened season. So I think that it's something to consider, and he's obviously thinking about it too. But the money, I think you do make a large amount of money in this profession, and I think he can, not focus on that too much, because you don't need to be driving Ferraris all the time. I know he just drove Kyle's, I think, but enough with the Ferraris.
Yeah. Yeah, I also think that he signed a contract. I wanted to ask Enzo what he thought about that. It was a shoe contract deal with Lee Nang.
He's going for money. That's all he's doing right now. That's annoying too. I know he was with And One for about a year, I believe, maybe 2 years. I believe it's a year though. And now he's moving on to Lee Nang. Never heard of them. I don't know who they are. Probably offering him a lot of money, because I think it is an Asian company. So. They have a lot of money there, so yeah. At this point, I think he's just interested in money. I don't know what he's gonna win in New York. Maybe a couple hot dogs from the vendors on the side of the road. I don't know what this guy's trying to do here, but I don't know. To me, if you're the Raptors, like, forget the shoe deal. This guy is too much money already. But if you're the Raptors, if you're gonna keep Fred, you're gonna tell him, like, the selling point basically is once Kyle retires, you're gonna be the guy. Is Fred willing to wait that long? When's Kyle going to retire? There's so many questions that we need answered. But Fred, he's a good player, obviously. Averaged 17 points a game. He shot 39% from three. We know what we're getting with Fred. He's steady Freddy. So, I don't know. The shoe deal, to me, it's all BS.
It's a great way of putting it.
Very blunt. I like it, though. Okay, so now obviously moving on to the Mafuzi man, the Mafuzi chef, Serge Ibaka. There's been so much rumors around him, and he's such a big part of our core in this Raptors team. I'm obviously hearing about Serge Ibaka to Charlotte, him unfollowing the teammates, which is a lie, I believe, and Serge denied that, saying that it wasn't meant for that intent. The Clippers have also expressed interest in him. I'm assuming with a Montrezl Harrell kind of swap deal. That would be pretty interesting, actually. Then the Lakers, obviously, needing a big man that could score. JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. I don't know if those are the guys that can be consistent all the time. And the Nets, obviously, hearing Kevin Durant recruit Ibaka. Wanting to bring him in, but I don't know how that would work with Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan. Centers. They have two already set big men, so I don't know how that would work.
The Nets is interesting just because that Kevin Durant connection, but they obviously, like you said, have two big, so I don't think that's the best option for them. The Lakers, they've been kind of in a lot of talk recently. In the Clippers, I feel like whenever the Lakers or the Clippers have a possible trade destination, the other one always is a part of it as well, as a rumor. Whenever the Lakers want someone, the Clippers hop in. Yeah, we want them too. They're fighting for players here. It's the Battle of LA. It never ends. I know that Serge, I guess, would be a big name for them. Lakers, I think he would do great. Even Clippers, they are would be really advantageous with having him there, a big dominant center. Right now, they have Zubac and Montrezl Harrell, an undersized big. I think that Serge would probably play great there. A little bit of chemistry with Kawhi. They were close friends. But the Clippers were in a lot of talks for guards as well.
Yep.
So I know Kawhi wanted a point guard, so I don't know how much space they're going to have in cap to do all these moves. And the Lakers, they just mentioned literally a couple of hours ago that they wanted to get DeMar DeRozan in hopes of trading for him, giving up Danny Green and Kyle Kuzma, which I don't know how that'd be fair, but everyone's in the LA especially are trying to get a lot of players and big names. So I don't know if they're going to have a bunch of enough cash to sign Serge, especially if Serge is going back for that $27 million deal. So I can see him definitely coming back to Toronto. He loves it here. He always talks good about us. And Charlotte as well, as that destination, I think that it's not really a good position for him. I don't know if it's going to be a good fit, and I think he'd have a much better time playing with us and a better chance of winning with us.
Yeah, like Serge, I don't see him going to LA. You're going to go to a team of Danny Green. The guy can't shoot a basketball, and then they got the Clippers. They got Pandemic P. So I don't see him going there. He's going to stay in Toronto. He's always talked highly, like Gabe said, about Toronto. He loves the city. He loves the fans. And Serge, we're talking to one of our friends. I know Adam was, and he said, "Oh, Raptors need to rebuild, get rid of all the old guys." Doesn't make sense to me. Serge arguably has been our most consistent player last season, and if you see him against the Wizards when he was playing at power forward, and I believe it's 2017-18 in the playoffs, he was terrible. Just look, nobody wanted him. We wanted him out, and now look at him now. Everyone's begging for him to come back. So I'm happy to see that Serge made such a drastic improvement in his game. And his three ball, he was a sniper. I think he was shot better than Danny Green in the playoffs. Pretty sure.
I think he did.
You probably are most consistent 3-point shooter at times. So, yeah.
It probably was, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like I should go check the stats.
Pretty sure he was. But, yeah, the little post hook he has in the paint. His game is amazing. I like the bounce pass of Kyle and Fred, too. Serge, we need to keep him. I don't see him leaving at all.
Yeah.
It's my honest opinion. Yeah, it'll pick and pop.
Yeah, we for sure revived his career coming from the Orlando Magic, trading him away and giving away the turnover machine, as he likes to call it, Terrence Ross. That guy, I was happy to see him go. Like I said before, no disrespect to him, but he wasn't. His shot IQ is closer to zero than anything, and he doesn't make good decisions on the ball, in my opinion. He's a highlight reel guy, and that's not my style. Just the way I view basketball, it's about winning, and highlight reel plays come second behind winning. So that was my opinion. Yeah, we revived his career with Orlando, and I don't know how good he would have been there, and I feel like we gave him that second opportunity.
I got 4.1 threes per game for Serge Ibaka, shooting 51% from three. I got Danny Green, 5.5 threes attempted a game, so a fair amount more, 34% from three. Serge Ibaka confirmed best shooter.
Serge are probably more contested as well. So that's the funny part, because D Green, they're all wide open when I'm watching him.
And then what happened in
Please,
Game
that
5?
guy's a joke. I don't want to talk about that guy. Yeah, and by the way, back to Terrence Ross. I don't know if he was colorblind, but he kept passing to the wrong team, so I don't want to go off on him for no reason, but he never passed to the right teammate.
This is taking a left turn, man.
Yeah,
Let me get to Terrence Ross.
Adam knows I don't like him.
Yeah, he's the IQ. I've been talking about him for a while. The IQ, I just feel isn't there.
Yeah.
He does have his games, as I would say, scoring the 51 point, equaling Vince Carter's record for the Raptors at the time, which DeMar DeRozan broke afterwards. But he does have his sparks of excellence. And I think he's good in Orlando, but because I think
that's pretty good against the Knicks.
For some reason, Terrence Ross always ends up coming back as a topic on this podcast. Every episode, just someone comes back to him and his poor shot selection. Where we were supposed to be going with this is that Fred VanVleet and Serge, two top priorities for the Raptors this offseason. We'd like to resign both of them, two of our most solid, consistent players this season, and two top performers for us. And we're put in this position because of Pascal having too much money.
Yeah,
that's a sum up of where we're at. We should probably move on now to the next one. We have Marc Gasol and his future. I think we can sub this one up. I know all of our opinions are pretty much the same on this, so I think we could sum it up in one saying. Get that garbage out of here! Simple as that. Get that garbage out of here. Sorry, Mark. You had a poor season. We all know it. You yourself know it. You walked off the court in the playoffs because you missed like 4 shots in a row and you couldn't get a rebound. And you looked overall a little dazed and confused on the court.
I don't know if he got a concussion in Spain during quarantine or something, but his head wasn't there half the time. I've never seen a guy so big not be able to get a ball off a rim. No, for real though, there's some plays where he doesn't box them out, just stands there like a big. Daniel Tice was out rebounding him. I don't know how. So I don't know. He needs to go.
He's athletic. Yeah, I think that we heard a little bit about him possibly going to Barcelona with his brother, but I don't think that Pau denied that. I don't think it's true. So most likely, Mark is still undetermined where he's going. Like we mentioned it before, don't think he should be coming back. Not worth the chunk of change we paid him in the earlier seasons. If he wants to come back on a way cheaper contract, maybe I'll allow it. But I prefer, honestly, if we just moved on and try looking somewhere else, different possible position. Adam?
Yeah, for Mark, I don't want to rip on the poor guy because the first playoffs he did a great job on Vucevic and Embiid, stopping them in the post, their main scoring options for the 76ers and the Magic. So he did a great job there, even with Cousins.
Joel lockdown.
I think he did a great job in that playoffs. I just think like the foot speed, the weight loss, in my opinion, was not good for him. The guy lost weight. He lost that largeness, that huge presence in the paint. And that's what makes him the guy he is, that big wall, that anchor in there. And without that, he still has the IQ, but I think he just doesn't have the athletic or a skill ability anymore to perform the things he wants.
I was going to say, I thought you were going a little too easy on him. You said you didn't want to rip into him. I'm like, the Adam I noticed a little more ripping into him than that. But we'll allow it. It was fair comments there. I'm not too sure what's going to happen with him. I guess we got to wait and see, but I feel like he's probably going to be one of the later newses that come out. I think first it's going to be where did Freddie land, then where's Serge, and then after that, what do we do with the other guys?
Well, yeah, you can't really have a pylon on the floor. Like he has to be more active, and I think it's time for Chris Boucher to get a shot at the backup center role. He's been waiting. He's been patient. He's been a great franchise player here with us.
The next person we're going on to is Boucher. What's going to happen with him? If we do let go of Mark, all three of us have mentioned, I think on the last podcast we were all on together, is that we'd love to have Boucher back next season, possibly in that backup center role. We saw that he put on a little bit of weight this quarantine. Hopefully he's continuing to do that now, maybe for next season, coming back even stronger. He'd be a huge threat in that position. We know he has the length, the shot blocking ability, the energy, the ability to shoot the ball, run the floor. Now we're all we're looking for is a little bit of strength in the guy, so hopefully he's working on that during his free time. Ends, what do you think is going to happen?
If Masai has a head and a brain, then he'll resign him. Best Canadian player of all time, hands down.
Yeah.
You got Steve Nash running to the Nets to try and get a ring as a coach, so that's not going to happen either. But Yeah, Boucher, we all saw what we can do. When he got a chance to play, he played well. I can't remember a bad game he had, to be honest. And like I said, the last time I was here, those back-to-backs against the Lakers and Clippers, he saw what he could do. He got minutes and he performed. That's all he needs is a chance. And I don't think we've given him that. And until we do, then we'll see what he can do.
Probably won't be hearing much about him, I think, till the
I think
end of the free agency, probably like the last couple of days of it. We'll see.
So yeah, for me with Boucher, I feel that Nurse has like a little bit of a stigma with him. Not really, always kind of goes to him last. We'll play like other youngsters ahead of him, like TD, even though he's in asterisks assumed to have more potential. They would play him in front of him, or guys like Matt Thomas, or just another guy in there, right? And he would be the last guy to even come on. Even when Marc and Serge weren't playing well, he still wouldn't come on. So I didn't get what Nurse's logic there was, but yeah, I think he's the G League MVP for a reason, and I think he needs to show it in the NBA, and I think that just comes with reps and minutes.
What about RHJ now? Before we finish this one off, what's going to happen with him? I think also going to be one of those last minute things. Focus on your big free agents, then allow time for the other ones. I don't know what type of contract he's expecting or what he will actually receive. But I'm going to predict it's somewhere around the $5 million range, maybe. Do you think we should sign him back? Do you boys want him back?
That's a tough one for RHA. I like him a lot. He averaged 7 points a game, which is pretty good for a guy coming off the bench. But obviously him not being able to shoot the basketball is a big issue. $5 million, I wouldn't mind getting him back with $5 million. All depends on how much we get him for. I think he'd like to come back, to be honest. I think we've seen the best of RHA. Since the Nets, he didn't really do much towards the end. When we give him playing time, he did well. Because I feel like Nick really doesn't like him, because I think Nick likes having shooters on the floor. Because obviously, when all five guys can hit a three, it's dangerous. You have to close in on everyone. Yeah, good spacing.
Good spacing.
And yeah, I don't know. He's a big question mark. I don't think the Raptors are going to prioritize him at all, but I think towards the end they're going to try and make a decision.
Yeah, I feel RHJ. He fit okay into our team, especially when guys got injured. He fit in really well, especially in the Lakers and Clippers games when everyone was kind of injured and we had big opponents like the Lakers and Clippers up next. He fit in well. He's very good, I noticed, with the college press, which Nick Nurse used a lot in the Dallas Mavericks comeback. He knows how to press. He knows how to stick to his man, not give him too much space, and he's obviously a great, I wouldn't say elite, but above average defender, and he can guard all four positions except the center, in my opinion, because of strength and height. But other than that, I think he's a great versatile defender. I say $5 million is good. If he wants more, I say adios. But yeah, he's been a great piece off the bench that you can use if someone gets injured or. But yeah, like Enzo said, not shooting a ball, it's not being able to shoot that sucks.
Yeah,
and it
13%
really,
from three.
It really hits the team in terms of offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably the biggest contributor, is ability to shoot the ball. And when he can't do that, negatively affects our offense. But, there is times when you need him, especially when the shots aren't falling. You're trying to get a big comeback. We think Dallas Mavericks. Him just hustling under the basket, creating plays, working hard. Sometimes that's what you need to turn a bad game around. So he's a decent player to have in that, bench position. And when you need him to do something like that, when you need a bit of a change, he's a good player for that role. But once again, we're no analysts. There's not enough research done on this podcast. Our research is basically off of 2K, and we've seen that in some My League simulations. He always ends up asking for around $10 million in the next free agency, which I think is going to be ridiculous. So hopefully 2K, you failed me, and hopefully he just asks for like 4 or 5, and then we can look to re-sign him.
Yeah, speaking about 2K, my own build is a slasher, and I'm not able to shoot in this year's game, and it's really hard. So I have to give respect to RHJ for being able to fit into a team without being able to shoot a ball. I understand how hard it is, not being able to shoot and fit into the offense. Like Enzo always preaches, he says always that you can do other things on the court to be efficient and to give part to your team. Enzo, you want to talk more about that? Because I know you really preach that in the flesh.
If we lose RHA, to move up O'Shea Brissett, because I really like him. I think he can do the same thing, and he can shoot. So He's a great defender as well, so I wouldn't mind doing that. Save us a lot of money as well. A great personality as well.
Great personality.
Yeah, and good
Great
YouTube channel.
personality, too.
Shout out to that. But
Yeah, yes.
but yeah, that's like my
Grizzly,
biggest
shout out.
pet peeve almost. I don't like players that can't defend or one-way guys. Kind of like James Harden can't defend, but yeah.
Again,
But
round
yeah,
two.
like RJ, he's always a player I admired because of how hard he works. And even though he can't shoot, I feel like sometimes he can earn those minutes because he does so much other things. Like Pascal would annoyed me in the playoffs is he couldn't score, but he didn't do anything defensively either. From time to time, he got a block or whatever. But the amount of times he allowed an open three in the corner, I want to bust my head open. It's really irritating. And having RHJ there, honestly, I thought of times where we could have took out Pascal and put him in because offensively wasn't scoring and defensively did nothing. So what's the point of having him in? So yeah, when you can do other things on the court, you're always an asset for the team.
I think that we are slowly walking the lines of being hypocritical because we bash Ben Simmons a lot, especially last podcast for not being able to shoot a basketball. But maybe we're turning a new leaf because of 2K21 and not being able to shoot a basketball. Well,
yeah, but to be fair, the guy gets paid a lot more than RHJ.
And us on 2K getting paid nothing. So maybe there is some give and take there, but I guess it's interesting to see how we are all appreciating more. But it's definitely crazy to be a good contributor to the team and an impact player and not being able to shoot a basketball. You have to be really skilled at what you're doing. And to be able to do it on a high level is just fantastic, I think. But I think that is all for today. First off, I want to thank Enzo for coming. The kids are always happy when you're on the podcast, Enzo.
Thank you for having me on.
Enzo, where can we find
at
you?
Six Side Couch on both Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Of course, and you can check him out on YouTube too. He's posting the videos, all the podcast streaming platforms. Similarly for us, you can find us at Rapzville on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube for visuals, or you can listen to the audio-only versions on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. But yeah, that's us signing out. Peace.